So we have a 2014 Ram 2500 that was setting a fault for a P0307 cylinder 7 misfire. The truck actually started off as bad exhaust manifold leaks. We had broken exhaust manifold studs that we ended up having to weld a nut and extract the studs. We swapped the spark plug, swapped the coil, and it was always on number 7. So we basically couldn't find any other problems. We do so many cam and lifters on these Hemi engines. We talked to the customer, decided to pull the cylinder head, and what we actually found is one of the lifters, the bearing is worn out for cylinder 7 exhaust, and it actually had just started. So this customer got very lucky not having metal shavings pumped throughout his whole engine or any other complications that come when these bearings wipe the lobe off the camshaft. Just for reference, this is a camshaft out of a different Hemi, but here you can see what happens as that bearing gets worse. It cuts the lobe off the cam. So once we got this engine all the way apart, we actually ended up having 2 bad lifters. If you notice, this is a non-MDS engine. Right now we're working on pulling the camshaft out, which we'll probably still end up replacing due to pitting. So this is the same truck with the 2 bad lifter bearings. We ended up replacing the camshaft also due to pitting. We got it assembled back to this point. Something I like to do is before it's fully assembled is to remove the spark plugs and crank it over by jumping the starter relay, cranking it until oil starts coming out of the rocker arm assemblies. Make sure everything's seated correctly. So you jump pins 87 to 30 once you find out which one's the starter relay. Let it cycle until you start seeing oil pressure. As you can see, we're starting to pump oil through the rocker arm assembly. Fire it up. So we got the Hemi all back together and running. Everything is good. Something I forgot to mention at the beginning of the video is the truck actually started off as bad exhaust manifold leaks. We had broken exhaust manifold studs that we ended up having to weld a nut and extract the studs. Once we got the manifolds fixed, the engine seemed to be ticking a little more than normal, and as you've seen, it had 2 bad lifters. Luckily they caught this before it wiped the cam lobes out. We still did put a camshaft in it though due to pitting.